Hello, friends. Ever consider we may be in a state of malnutrition? The lack of wholesome meals are major contributing factors towards disease and behaviors, just like oil and gas to a working vehicle. Not to mention lifestyle are very real considerations. After 20 plus years of listening, surveying, observations, and hosting retreats, I interacted with many patients and their families. I myself was a patient overcame 3 major health challenges. My experience and insights will help to equip you, my audience, to unpack and eliminate guessworks before you visit your doctors. Welcome to my show, Optimize Wellness and Maximize Life by way of 1 degree change. Hello, everyone. I am realizing that this is already number 10. Welcome. This 10th episode, I am beginning to talk about what are some of the cause and effect of a disease. And today's topic is about stress. How many kinds of stress and why stress is, I consider it, the worst thing that will result in a disease. There are many ways that we can stress our body, but I wanted to explain from my book, one of the chapters talking about stress. When we get overwhelmed, we do not realize it's actually called stress. And in medicine, stress is considered a killer. Some people will say, wait just a minute. I don't see the connection. Let me explain to you. There are internal stress and outside stress. So today, we are talking about at least 3 different types of stress. Why 3? Because there are so many, and we have to choose daily what kind of stress we want to allow in our face. And let's face it, life happens. And one of the factors that really affects our physiology that I call internal stress is, another word is called control. So that's number 1, control. To tell you the truth, recently, I have an example that I experienced myself, that I have no control over anything because Christmas, New Year, we have so many families coming in and going out, 3 dogs, all in one house. And I told my beloved daughter-in-law, I said, I am losing control, but I'm loving this. That is one way of handling stress. Easily said, but not easily done. So when you know that you are overwhelmed, that means your physiology is being affected. So that is number 1. The other one is control about your inside. That was external, all that is happening outside of me. But the internal stress is number 2. Internal stress is what I show on my book. You can control certain things from the inside. What are they? Things I can control is the way I do my work, my actions, my own ideas, the things that I want to do, such as I can control how I do my laundry. No one can come in and control my laundry habits, right? So that is very important. Things outside of me, I cannot control because other people are at play, at work. The internal control is I'm the boss. And another example is, remember I talk about what I put in my food? When I'm cooking and my families are helping me, I don't have total control. I only have partial control. You see the difference? Now, internal control is I can decide when I actually close my eyes to go to bed. I can even somewhat monitor the way I dream. And I'll tell you at the end, at the meditation part. So there is two types now. Outside control, outside of what I can control. The best part is you just have to let it go. In fact, I have learned one trick. I watched people, how they interact. I'm here, you're over there. And imagine you're right in the center. Me, I'm in the center. I'm in control. My families are or my husband is that ring right out next to me. I don't have control over that. Another one is my associates, my community, but they're still a good friend and they can influence me, but I'm in control of my own stress level. And I'll give you some example. Then another ring outside, people outside of my work, people like a mailman. I don't control him when he show up. He certainly can't control me when I can open the door and receive the box, but I control myself. Now, there's another control that I really influence from another ring outside. You see how this, you're in the center, your immediate family, they can affect you a lot. And then your community, your workplace, your colleagues, and then maybe your church. Not everybody in your church are your friends, and they should not dictate. We're talking about the soul tied together. When it's so intimately tied together, that's when you lose yourself. I know these are not easy concepts, but then let's go another ring outside, the news. You totally have no control what happened in the airwave. But you are in control how it affects you. So they're out here. There's another way. Remember, I'm from another country. What happened to a foreign government? It can affect me, but it cannot affect in here and in here because I know it will affect my health. For instance, I have not been able to see my own siblings. They're in another country, subjected to another control. So now you see the difference. You have say within you, and only God and I are in control. And that's part of the reason why I do the meditation of how grateful I am. As long as I am closely tied with my God, He's in charge, better than I can be in charge. And so stress is something we have to watch out for. So number 3 is really how the physiology of our body can become a state of disease that we walk into. And I call it the adrenal glands. Now, the adrenal gland is two little glands right on the back behind us. And when I do muscle test, I can feel the person, they are so stressed, they cannot lie. And so I would use some adrenal compound, such as beef, such as pork, adrenal. These are organic. And I put it right next to the glands where I can find it. So your liver is right about here. Your kidneys are right about here. So I would put the compound, or what I call the supplement, whole food supplement, right next to the gland. And I can tell you 100% your adrenal is so stressed. And so the number 3 part I'm talking about, stress has 2 major organs that regulate it, and it's called the adrenal gland. And when I test your adrenal gland, I know whether you are so stressed that you are even what they call adrenal failure or adrenal fatigue. And when your adrenal is so fatigued, your cortisol level goes up so high, and it will affect your blood pressure. So when it's constantly fight or flight, you feel threatened because you don't know how to respond to these different levels of relationship. Do you remember I had talked about be a friend to yourself, your relationship with yourself? That's when you anchor right in the center. No one can affect me. I am at peace by me taking care of me, and you take care of you. Because I believe I've been taught, and I hope you do too, love others as you love yourself. If you don't value yourself, your time, your boundary, you will get stressed. We're seeing it all over. Why do you think people take guns and go shooting? It's because they have lost total control who they are, who they belong to, who's in charge. Give the proper place to the proper authority. I have authority over me, and I take responsibility for my health. Right out here, my children, my husband has responsibility over themselves. And if they affect me, I can respond in a way by saying, that does not feel good. Please don't do that again. There will be consequences. You know why? When you're living with a spouse 30, 40, 50 years, sometimes people literally give up their own right to have authority over themselves. So therefore, I just want to bring awareness to everyone that your adrenal gland is so affected, you become constantly fatigued. Remember, number 1 is about yourself, what you can control. Number 2 is about others. So you draw boundaries. 1 ring, another ring. And guess what? I teasingly show people, if you constantly offend me and put me in a place out of a secured zone, guess what? You are way, way, way out there. Am I going to be nice? I can be kind, hello, but that's where it stops. In fact, there are wars going on way out there, not because I don't care, but it's not anything I can do. But if I get stressed, remember we're talking about stress. it will affect my physiology. How do you think I keep away from disease as much as I can? Now, knock on wood, we're not all perfect. Every day, we fine-tune ourselves. Remember, maximize life. At first, optimize our wellness. Now we're beginning to talk about maximize my life, because I want to live. And I want to live stronger and healthier and grow more whole till the day I die. And so I just wish all of you peace for 2025, and let's do our meditation. Thank you, God, for protecting me. Oh my, today I almost have somebody ran into me because they were not watching. But I'm in control of myself. And as soon as that car passed, I was so glad that you have protected me, God. And I appreciate you protected me from things that I didn't even realize that I was protected. So I'm thankful for another 24 hours. After all, we only have today. And so I wish you the best. No stress. Remember, stress will cause your cortisol to go up. As a result, long-term adrenal fatigue will lead to blood pressure issue, even affect your kidney, especially your liver. That's your processing plant. All your glands and organs, they live within this body. So be kind to yourself. Care about yourself too. That's not being selfish. So watch out for your stress level. When you feel like you get overwhelmed, you just come back and say, is that false responsibility on my part? Or did I cross over to somebody else's responsibility? And when I think that way, I call it things that are outside and things that are inside. So if you can define that, and I will talk a little more about this, because a lot of people taking false responsibility, such as a spouse, such as even children. Now, I'm not an expert in childcare, but when I was in college, my first year was in early childhood development. Parents also need rest. A lot of us give so much to our children, and then we give so much to our elders, our in-laws, or I call some of them my outlaws. And so as a result, you become a caregiver, caretaker, and sometimes you forget yourself. So taking good care of yourself means you can now take care of other people. Remember, the airline stewardess says, when you go on a plane, breathe, take in oxygen first when there's an emergency, then you can help the people right next to you, especially your child. But if you don't, you lose control and no one else is secured. So blessings, and I wish you getting to this book. There is a chapter about stress and how it affects your health. And without your health, you can't do a whole lot. I used to have a saying, especially for couples, when you have your health, you can enjoy your marriage. But when you don't have a quality marriage, you will be so stressed you cannot enjoy your health. So we're talking about balance. And now I ask that you go to the QR code and order this book, Optimize Wellness and Maximize Life. Thank you for watching. And I wish you the most pleasant, enjoyable, restful 2025. Happy New Year.